One of the effects of the banking problems that occurred earlier this year is it's making it more difficult for small businesses to borrow money right now, which the American economic engine is based on small local businesses. And so the Federal Reserve, ironically enough, is likely not to engage in raising interest rates by any significant amount moving forward as a result of the problems that happened with banks that needed FDIC backup for accounts beyond $250,000 from the FDIC system. And we are almost certainly near a peak in interest rates, just about there. Interest rates may stay there for a while, but then they're going to start coming down. And I watch patterns, and there's a clear pattern right now in the financial markets. If you put money in a one-year CD at most financial institutions, you're now earning a higher rate of interest than you would on a 5-year CD. That's known as an inverted rate curve, because usually the longer you tie up your money, the higher an interest rate you're rewarded with for giving up some freedom and tying up your money longer. And so normally I talk about, money you don't need in the next few months or next year, that there's an advantage to buying a longer term CD. And I talk about the CD ladders. I've talked about it, for decades. The idea that if you divide your money into piles and you first buy a 1-year CD and a 2-year at the same time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. And then every year, you've got 20% of your money back available to you. If you don't need it, you buy a new 5-year CD, and you always have 20% of the money you parked in CDs available to you. That's called the ladder. And the idea is to eventually get all your money in 5-year because you earn the most money in it, except now, because the markets are pricing in a slowing economy and reduced inflation. Inflation is still with us, but down significantly from where it was before. And so interest rates may well be really close to their peak. So what institutions are paying varies wildly on any CD. And you have the ability to shop around and find the best deals available right now on 5-year CDs. So money you're not going to need for a good long while, that is money you don't want to invest, but you'd like to have it in reserve and savings. This is a time that's a really good idea to buy a longer term CD, like a 5-year CD. So how would you do that? How do you shop around? How do you find it? All right, this is a twofer. I've talked through the decades also about why you buy CDs through a discount broker instead of buying them directly from a bank. Because banks tend to offer two rates, one on their wholesale side and one on their retail. And they take advantage of their most loyal customers that go direct to them to buy a CD and offer a better deal through discount brokers because they're trying to grab some what's known as hot money. There are people that are brand loyal first, and then there are people that want the best deal first. So if you buy your CDs through the discount broker, you've got, as I called it, a twofer. You've got magnified FDIC insurance, because through the discount broker, they can place your money with so many institutions. You have millions of dollars of FDIC insurance coverage, where with a single institution, you only have $250,000. And they're able to get you the best rates, better than you're likely to be able to find on your own. Now, it is true that at most places, you're going to find a lower interest rate on that 5-year versus a 1. But think about it. You take that higher rate for a year, 5 point something %. If if you shop around for 1-year CDs versus probably 4 point something on the 5-year. What happens a year from now? Let's say we're in a mild recession. Let's say we've truly broken the back of inflation a year. Then when you go to buy a new CD a year from now, the rates may be much lower than they are now. So that's the advantage of doing a ladder even today. The money you know you're really not going to need for 60 months, put a meaningful amount into a 5-year CD. Money that you feel like you'd like to hedge your bet some because who knows for sure which way interest rates are going to go. You can do a 1-year. And yes, you'll get the higher rate on the 1 than the 5. But the 5-year money, you know you'll get at least that 4 point something percent for the next 5 years, which is very favorable. One thing never to do, this is a never rule. Unless you hate your money, you have to hate your money to do this. Go to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, or Citibank to buy CDs because they play you for a fool. They pay such ridiculously low rates on their CDs. They're taking advantage of you. You let regular old savings sit in Bank of America, Chase, Citi, or Wells Fargo. They're playing you as a fool again. Don't let them do it. And remember, the discount brokers are your best friend. Places like Wealthfront, Betterment, Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard. That's where you're going to get the best deals, FDIC insured, on your CDs and on your savings as well.